honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Again, I would like to welcome everyone. We do have a quorum, and we will call this meeting to order. Ms. Waskett, do we have any citizens' comments?
No comment.
Thank you very much. Item 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of the Commissioners Court on July 16th, 2019. Questions, comments, additions, deletions?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we accept the minutes of the Commissioners Court regular session of July 16th as presented.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, seconded by Commissioner McCam to approve the minutes for July 16th as presented. All those in favor? We'll note that it's very rare we have one page of minutes. Item 2, consider and discuss the taking of applications to appoint or reappoint all members of the Board of Directors for the Henderson County Levee Improvement District Number 3. This item was requested to be placed on the agenda, and with us today we have Mr. Martin Bennett, and he is the counsel for the Levee District. And if we have any questions for him, of course, this is something that it's been several years since we have appointed. I will hand it over to Mr. Bennett.
Judge, Commissioners, right now, the three commissioners that serve on the Levee Board, they serve at your pleasure. And we've noticed through the years that sometimes somebody may get on there and not have as much desire 5 years, 10 years later to serve on that board. And we think it's just best if we come to you every third, fourth, fifth year, whatever your pleasure is, to seek reappointment to those board members. Then you're always going to have people on that board that have a desire to serve and are willing to participate in those meetings. And so we're not trying to pick on anybody. We say just reconsider all three positions at this time, and it's up to your pleasure.
Any questions for Mr. Bennett?
One other thing, Your Honor, I guess what we recommend is that we open it up for nominations or for people to present their resumes for the next 2 weeks. And we'd like to, in about 2 weeks, for y'all to consider those resumes and make your decision at that time.
Thank you. Questions?
I guess that will be placed in the paper.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this is a discussion item. Of course, no action is needed from the court, but we will get that placed into the paper and see what applications we get. We'll have it open for 2 weeks. Item number 3, consider and take action on out-of-state travel requests. Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Thank you.
For county extension agent in the amount of $500. Anne Marie?
I'm going to let Spencer speak on this.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. I have an opportunity put forth towards me from Dr. Billy Zanolini down at College Station. If y'all remember a few weeks back, I talked about taking a trip to College Station with 25 youth called the Equine Ambassadors, and we took them all around College Station. This trip here would be like the third leg of that program. Those kids start out there. They take a week in Austin after they narrow it down from 100 kids down to 25. They take them through the Austin down there. They meet several different politicians and senators, legislators, and get to learn what goes on in Austin. And then this is kind of the third leg of that. In the odd years, they take a national trip, and then in even years, they go out of the country. They've been to Argentina a few times and Brazil and different places. So this year is taking a trip out towards California. We'll fly out, land in Portland, Oregon, and then kind of trace the coast down, and we'll fly back out of Oakland, California. But we're going to take a day and spend at some animal sanctuaries, the Humane Society of the United States, and then go to several different dairies, sheep farms, cattle ranches, an almond orchard, and so it's a neat opportunity for me. Number one, get to mentor those kids and show them part of agriculture in the United States that might not ever get to see, and then also do the same for me and get to learn how different operations are ran on the coast over there and see what ideas and things we might apply back here to Henderson County and see some different ideas. So as y'all can see, that it'd be a rate of $500, which is highly reduced price for what the trip. That's all my travel, lodging, and food while on that 10-day journey.
Questions?
How many 4-H'ers are going, did you say?
25 kids and then
25.
about 4 staff members from College Station and myself.
Okay.
How many of those kids are from Henderson County?
0 are from Henderson County. My hopes is, like say, that the equine trip was my first time to be involved in this program. It's fairly new, but after going through that and then hopefully going through this, it's going to be one of my goals is to get as many kids as we can to start applying to this every year. I think it might be one of the best programs I've ever been a part of, for sure.
And in the long run, this will lead some of those kids to be able to apply for some scholarships.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I say, it's team building and leadership building all 10 days of it, and they're meeting people and then, like I say, building their resumes like you wouldn't believe on these trips, for sure.
Do you have a pretty good many kids interested in?
You know, I've talked to a few. It's only high school age kids, and so I've talked to a few that are, is 6th, 7th, 8th grade that told them, hey, they need to be thinking about this in the coming years. And then, like I say, it's going to be one of the things I discuss with ag teachers coming up quickly is our kids that dual purpose and do 4-H and FFA. I mean, it's an amazing opportunity for them.
Well, thank you very much. It sounds like it's something that is going to be very beneficial, not only to the county itself, with the information you bring back, but also as Commissioner speaking for the kids.
Yes.
Yep.
So,
Thank you.
any further comments? Entertain a motion.
So moved to approve.
I'll second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Tooley to approve the expenditure for the out-of-state travel request for the county extension agent of $500. All those in favor? Item passes.
Congratulations, Spencer, for being selected to go on the trip.
We have 5 minutes before we're scheduled on the public hearing, so we will skip item 4 at this point and move to item 5, which is the received financial reports. We have reports from Justice of the Peace Precinct 2, and I remind everyone these will be available for viewing after court in the county clerk's office. Item 6, consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheet. Ms. Harris?
I do have payroll totals for biweekly 14.
Any questions for Ms. Harris?
No questions.
Entertain a motion.
So move to approve, Judge.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCann, to approve the payroll distribution totals for biweekly 14. All those in favor? Item passes.
And I'll also have the June cash account sheet.
Questions for Ms. Harris?
No questions, Judge.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the account cash sheet for the period ending of June 2019 as presented. All those in favor? Item passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 7 is consider and take action on submitted contracts. I believe we do not have any contract.
One contract today. The East Texas Center for Independent Living.
Okay.
This is some of our questions in the 92nd District Court. They're having some things going to need some sign language interpretation.
Questions?
The interpreters that we currently have under contract, they do not do sign. And this was the only one we could find.
Yeah, it's pretty limited on officer services.
The bill rates are quite confusing. Certainly don't want to call them in the 11th hour.
No, this is when, like I said, the court's not listening.
Yeah. And will this contract stay in effect for 1 year? Okay. No other questions, Jim?
Any other questions? I do have one, County Attorney. Given the nature of the court proceedings, I'm sure that these individuals, to be credible in the court, have to have certification and so forth.
Depends on the court that they're in. Yes, if they hire courts, they would have to be credentialed.
Okay. That's part of the reason of us looking for an organization like this that meets all those requirements. Okay. Any other questions? Entertain a motion.
Judge, I'll make a motion that we take action to accept the contract of ETCIL for sign language interpreting services. For 1 year contract, is that right? For the judge to sign?
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the contract with ETCIL for sign language interpretation. Any further, with judge's authorization to sign? Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes. Item 8, consider and take action on requests for right-of-way permits.
You do have one in precinct 3.
Commissioner McCam?
Yes, I have a right-of-way from Levee Water Supply Company. It's on County Road 3614. It's a bore under. They sent all their information, and I sent that to y'all to look at. But it's a tract of property that's been broken up in several lots. It's sold. They do a good job, and I recommend right-of-way.
Questions for Commissioner McCam? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we give the right-of-way to Leeville Water Supply to make a 2-inch bore under 3614.
Second this motion.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Giesland, to approve the right-of-way permit for Leeville Water Supply to bore under County Road 3614. Any further comments? All those in favor? Item passes. Well, it is now 9:15, and so we will move back to item number 4, which is a public hearing to discuss the implementation of vote centers in Henderson County. 9:16, sorry. And we will move into that at this time. Denise, if you would like to begin the presentation so that we may take public input.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
While we're setting up, I will remind everyone that this is where the court hears from the public. The court's responses will be muted during this session because this is an opportunity for the public to speak.
Okay. As you said, this is a public hearing so that we could listen to our voters who are coming in today to speak about the implementation of vote centers. Vote centers is and not like our traditional precincts. They're where you can go anywhere on election day. Imagine just being able to go to the most convenient location. This is what we're trying to do for the county, for the voters. The county background, in 2010, it was 78,532. We currently have 51,412 registered voters. We have 13 cities, 6 towns, and 2 partial towns. Like I said, traditional is what we currently have. Traditional sites currently accommodate 1 precinct only on election day, which means that you have to go to the precinct in which you're registered on election day. Polling sites, vote centers, they accommodate all precincts, just like early voting. So that's what we're currently trying to implement here in the county. The background, it started in 2006 with Lubbock. Lubbock was the very first county eligible. Since then, they've opened it up to all counties. Didn't matter the size of the counties, and so therefore we've been currently trying to work on this for about 40 years. It does require the Commissioner's Court approval. All transcripts and recordings will be sent to the Secretary of State. Communication plan to inform the voters. We use a methodology for the placement of sites, and post-election reports filed with legislature. Communication plan, we plan on mailing out to head of household for all of our voters. Notices maybe to civics groups, community organizations, some of our local cities, libraries, Chamber of Commerce. We also plan, if it's implemented, to give out to our candidates for their candidate packets, so as they're out campaigning, they can hand them out to their voters. We are going to post on our website, our social media, in local newspaper, even have radio, TV ads. We're not trying to prevent any voters from voting. We just merely want to get the word out that you are able to go anywhere on election day and vote. The head of household document will look like this. It's via TRIFO. If it's implemented for the November, then it's going to give the notice of election for the November, stating the hours of early voting and all the locations of the vote centers and their addresses. Keep in mind that if we do close any of the traditional sites, we will have to post a notice on each one of the previous polling place locations. On that notice, it will give all the locations of the current vote centers for that election and their addresses. This notice will have to stay up until the day after election day. Some of the criteria for the locations is, you want something that's going to be familiar to your voters, easily accessible, ground levels, ADA compliances. It has to be able to support a large amount of turnout, support the equipment and the staffing. We currently have 26 traditional polling places. Our proposal is to have 19 vote centers. And those are just examples of what would be a good area: civic centers, fairgrounds, exhibit halls, churches. These are our current polling places. This is what we were proposing. The ones in red are 3 new sites. Crossroads ISD Gymnasium would take the place of Willow Springs. Willow Springs currently is a dead zone, and one of the requirements for becoming a vote center is you have to have some kind of reception for us to have Wi-Fi, so that it talks back to all the other poll books in the county so that a voter can't go from one location to another. So that is our reason for wanting to change that to Crossroads Gymnasium. Payne Springs Community Center, Pinnacle Club, those are locations that we've had some problems in. Payne Springs Community Center, half of the buildings, electricity is not really good. The compliancy in it it's not well. So Commissioner Tooley and I have gone out to Crane Springs Fire Station. It's a huge area. It's right on the highway. I think it would be a perfect site for it. And then Faith Baptist Church. Brownsboro Community Center is a large turnout box. The only thing is it's really hard. I wouldn't be able to put adequate enough equipment in there to support the turnout at that location. This one is like a mile 6 from the current location, and it's right on the highway. We feel like it'll be a good location. Commissioner McCam and I have gone out and looked at that site, and it's a huge area, nice parking lot, and it's right off the highway. These are the distances between them. Some of them have, a few miles in. These are my committee members who served the commissioners by being their committee members in their areas. And this is the map of the current vote center locations for Henderson County. And that's my proposal. There's nothing else after that.
Okay. After seeing the presentation, if anyone wishes to speak in favor or against, or would just like to share their opinion over what has been presented here, this is now your opportunity. If you do speak, please come forward to the podium and give your name and address so it may be entered into the record. Is there anyone wishing to speak?
I really just have a question. Deborah Dees, 4246 County Road 4607, Athens. I've had several people come to me and say, wait a minute, does that mean you can vote all these times? And she addressed it a little bit, but I just want it readdressed. If I go vote at any of these locations, as soon as I push the button vote and my vote is cast, it will tell all the other stations I voted, so I can't go around to the others and vote.
That is correct. And it's not when you actually cast your vote, it's when you're checked in through the poll books. The poll books will come back to a management system in my office, and then they go back out to all the other poll books. We've been using the system for about 4 or 5 years. So that happens during early voting. We've been doing it, and it's been working well for us. And it updates within minutes.
Several asked me about that.
Okay, yes.
Doc Mason, 713 Belmont Drive, Athens, Texas. Listen, I just want to piggyback on what Denise was saying earlier. It's so true because we get so many complaints on voting day. I'm one of the judges. We get so many complaints on voting day. Well, I don't have time to go to the Rock. I don't have time to go to this or that, this or that or the other. Because of the fact I'm here, why can't I vote here? You understand? I am registered, why can't I vote here? And I think that would be one of the greatest ideas in the world, is to be able to vote wherever you are. A lot of people were, I know we have early voting, and I know all of this takes place, but just like all of us, okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Okay, I'm gonna do it tomorrow. Then time have run out. And then it's the day of. And they don't have any place to go. I can't make it back to Brownsburg, or wherever. And so that's one of the biggest complaints I know that we hear in the back on voting day, is that having to have to leave here to go there in order to vote. And closing, I don't remember which one we were closing down, but I do remember one time we was over there at this, which one was that we was at? And we just sat there, because they come in there to pay their fines as well. Where was that? Okay, they come in there to pay the fines, and we would think we'd have a voter, and they were going to pay their fine. They didn't even know we existed, even though all the information and everything was out. But they wasn't concerned about that. They was concerned about paying their fines or doing this or that, the other. And that's really a dead zone. You're talking about a dead zone. The time we worked on that, it was really, really a dead zone. But anyway, I'm not going to prolong because I'm sure somebody else might want to say something because I could talk from now to Jesus get back. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Belinda Mitchell, 5601 County Road 4604, 4SE. We're in Kansas precinct. Well, I think for convenience, it is wonderful, but I also like the saving money. You know, our taxes are always going up, and this would save money that we could use somewhere.
Yes.
And I think that's really important.
Sherry Tanneberger, 603 Ravenwood Drive here in Athens. And I've been working elections since 2011, and I've looked at the locations. I see there's a new list this morning from the previous meeting that we had, and I think you've made some good choices on these voting centers because, like Dot said, some days we go and work elections, and there are so few voters at that particular election location that we're not sure why we're open there. So I think combining some of these would be very good. The other thing is just reminding people that in this county, in the last few years, the majority of our voters have voted early. And so they're already used to going 3 places at any time during early voting. So on election day, having this choice of a lot of locations you could go vote at any one of them should not be too confusing if we get the word out. My last comment is, I'm not sure why I'm sure it's a mailing thing. We're sending your plan to send to only head of household. And I happen to live with my cousin. We have different names. We do share our mail. We don't have a problem with that, but there are some households, someone may not get the word. So that would be my only concern about that particular way. Also, people don't read the paper, don't read their emails, they don't look at Facebook. I don't know why they're so uninformed, but they are. And so maybe this mailing to each voter might be a better idea. Thank you.
Ivor Givens, 5850 County Road 3918, Athens in Precinct 3. I think the voting centers will be a wonderful thing. Anytime change happens, there's going to be some confusion. But I think once the implementation is taking place and people see the benefits of having these voting centers, that we're going to have a happy county with the way we vote. Thank you.
Can I ask a question from here, just real quickly? I'm on the panel.
If you would give your name, address for the record.
Ed Bush, and I'm on the panel, so all my information is listed.
It needs to be for the record, Mr. Bush, sorry.
101 North Merlin Drive, Maybank 75156.
Thank you.
I'm on the panel, I think it's a great idea. My only concern is for elderly or minorities as far as where the centers are located, whose concerns are transportation. Are we moving them too far away? Just simply make sure it's available to them. That's my concern.
We would not interrupt those locations. It doesn't seem far to me, but like I say, people go to Walmart, they're going to pass about 2 or 3 polling places on their way. They're going to go to stores. I know your concern is with elderly. We currently, in the last gubernatorial, we had 3,000 ballots by mail. I'm expecting 5,000 on the presidential. So I know that people are going to get out. We're going to have a minimum of 108 hours of early voting. We always do. We have a 12-hour Saturday, and then, of course, Election Day for us is a 16-hour day. So, I mean, you know, we know that change is difficult for everyone. We're creatures of habit. I know this. I think that becoming a vote center is going to make things a little more convenient for people. Whether it's next to their daycares, their jobs, or their homes, they can walk into any vote center and be able to vote. I don't believe that we're closing so many that it would be devastating to the voters. I believe that once we get that word out, and we are going to try our best to get it out to everybody, whether it be in the backpacks of their children in 2nd and 3rd grade, because that's during the time we actually go through those backpacks, or if it's just word of mouth. You know, like I said, once our candidates start following and we give these documents to them, they're the ones that are out in the fields. They're the ones that are going to be able to go to those forums and tell people. They're going to go house to house. I think that this is a perfect opportunity for us to be able to get that information.
Anyone else wishing to speak?
Mark Wade, 9125 FM 607, LaRue. The only question I had was on our voter registration cards. We have an ID location on there. How are we going to handle that and getting an update associated with people knowing where their if their voting location has been eliminated or is still in play?
Okay, well, that's not a polling place location. That is your precinct location. That's not going to change. You're always going to be in someone's precinct, and that's specific to your address.
I think mine has the abbreviation for the New York Baptist Church on it.
Yes.
Precinct 4.
And that's your precinct. It's not your polling location per se.
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
we need to make sure that they don't let that.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak to this issue? Anyone? Okay. With that, entertain a motion to close public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Tooley to close public hearing. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you very much for all of you who have participated. And as a reminder, we will be holding another public hearing this evening at 6:30 p.m. at this location. Item number 9, is there anything else, Denise?
No, sir, I'm good.
Thank you, ma'am. Item number 9, consider and take action on submitted budget amendments.
I have 2 budget amendments. The reason I did that was just to clarify, cleaning up Ms. Lane's thing on Road and Bridge. To begin with, I'd just like to start our standard road budget amendments. Yeah. These will be self-explanatory.
Questions for Ms. Lee? Can we have some? Thank you. Any questions for Ms. Lee?
No questions, Judge.
No questions, yeah.
Entertain a motion.
So moved to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner Thomas to approve the budget amendments as presented. All those in favor? Item passes.
And then the second set is cleaning up for miscellaneous things from allocating to the proper road and bridge precincts.
Any questions? Entertain a motion.
So moved.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Giesland, second by Commissioner McCann to approve the road and bridge budget amendments. All those in favor? Item passes. Item number 10, consider and take action on payment of bills.
Yes, for the bill total for this week that I'm going to approve on is $255,821.05.
Commissioner Thomas, questions?
Judge, Rebecca answered my questions right before court. Thank you, Rebecca.
Commissioner Tooley?
I have none.
Commissioner McCam?
No question.
Commissioner Giesling?
Real-time deposition services, is this a new firm that is doing depositions, or is this one of our court reporters that, so the court reporter has a DBA as real-time deposition services? Isn't that interesting? No further questions.
If there are no further questions, we'll entertain a motion.
Judge, I'll make a motion, we approve the bills as presented for July the 23rd, 2019.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Tooley, to approve the bills in the amount of $255,821.05. All those in favor? All those opposed? Item passes 4-1. Item 11, consider and take action on submitted plats. Thank you. Item 12, open and consider bids. Gentlemen, I know that we have one bid. Ms. Nichols is on vacation this week and asked that I present, being as part of the evaluation. This is on the Justice of the Peace JP5 building in Malakoff. We let this bid out a few weeks ago, and we did have our responses along with the vendors doing a walkthrough with maintenance to identify any particulars about the project. We had 4 responses, and as you can see, one is from Brazos Urethane, the other one Big Bear Roofing, the Insulated Roofing Contractors, and Fast General Contracting. When we were looking at these, as far as their response to the bid, you'll see in the notations, we had the first one, Brazos Urethane, was specifically stated that they will just follow specifications of the project without much detail. Big Bear Roofing offered up a completely different product application than what was requested in the specifications. And Fast General Contracting is extremely high. And not a lot of detail with theirs. Insulated Roofing Contractors is the one that is recommended. They met with the specifics of the bid most correctly. And incidentally, they are the company that was awarded the bids for this building project and for the records building project. The bid for insulated roofers is $35,778. Low bid was $23,390, and the high bid was $42,000. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have at this time.
So the low bid, they didn't meet the specifications we laid out?
No, sir, they did not. They quoted back to us just the fact that we will follow specifications within the project, whereas other companies went into much greater detail of describing their materials and gave us a much more comfortable assurance in the evaluation process.
I noticed they didn't give a drainage. The first two didn't, but Insulated did have a drainage solution for that roof.
They did.
Right.
If the court is not aware, there are several downspouts with this particular facility that has been amended and adjusted over time as the facility was redesigned prior to the purchase of the county, and some lingering issues with that are contributing to what we have at that facility.
The drainage is going to be a major part of it, getting that right on that building.
Any other questions?
And the insulated roofing did meet our drainage.
Drainage and, yes, sir. Drainage and the specifications of the 1.5 inch, 3-pound poly. They got very specific into their response. Gave us a better feel of assurances. Are there any other questions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion we accept the insulated roofing contractor's bid of $35,778. That's with the roof repair, drainage repair, the gutter, the whole bid response.
With?
For the judge to authorization to sign, I'm sorry.
Second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Thomas, second by Commissioner Giesland, to award the JP5 roof repair bid to insulated roofing contractors. Any further comments? I will state that Insulating Roofers is scheduled for the first week of August to start the project here at the annex of getting this roof taken care of. If there are no further comments, all those in favor? Item passes. Now to our favorite one of the day. Item 13, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn. All those in favor? Item passes. Thank you very much. And again, we will be holding another public hearing at 6:30 this evening in this building for the vote centers.